Well, if you're interested in purchasing a security system for your home but don't know where to start, don't worry. I have a feeling a lot of homeowners have similar questions. Joining us to share some insight and talk about all the advancement in technology as far as home security systems go is Ryan Jaime from Ackerman Security. Ryan, welcome.
Thank you. So good to be here.
Thanks for coming in. All right. So, growing up, I remember seeing commercials for home security systems where there's a big panel on your house in the hallway, or maybe someone, a group of people on the other line of the phone just waiting for you to call in. I have a feeling that is a pretty outdated version of what home security is these days.
Times have changed.
Talk to us about what is out there on the market now. What are all the different options you can do? And, maybe talk a little bit about the footprint. We're not talking about big panels in your home, like a team of people just waiting for your call.
Yeah. So there's just a few simple concepts that I want to explain. The first one is I want you to think about this. We spend, 3, 4, 5, 600, 700,000, $1 million on homes. Okay. And we pay for high rent, and we live in a place where the cost of living is high. So we invest all of this money into these residents. And it's funny, we have remote access to a vehicle in most cases. People have remote starters. It's amazing to me that we live in 2018 and some people are still refusing to automate the home. Mm-hmm. This is no longer security systems. Yes, is there monitoring involved? There are some companies now that are even saying to the people that do business with them, we don't even care if it's monitored by the police, fire, and medical anymore. We just want remote access. We want to be able to control our lights, our locks, our thermostats, our cameras. And so it amazes me that people will invest in the vehicles and have remote access. You can start and you can turn on your car and turn it off, and you can lock and unlock from distance. But people are still hesitant to automate the homes, which is it's a larger purchase. So, smart home, it just makes sense to me. Like, and I have a feeling that I'm being a little facetious on this, but I have a feeling that it's going to come to the time where all homes are you're able to know the consumption of your groceries. You're able to know how much toilet paper you have left, how much detergent you have left. And it will just come a time where we say, hey, Alexa, order me some milk, or do this or do that. And so this is not far away. This is so close. We're right on the cusp of this. And a lot of us understand that, but there's just some of us late adopters that are refusing to give in and admit, hey, this is where it's going.
Yeah. I have to say the idea of the connected home is pretty appealing. Someone who's new to it, where do they start? What should you look for?
That's a great question. And this is, there's so many companies that are in this space. We know that Apple and Ring and Amazon and Walmart and Ackerman, we're all biting, for the same homes. Mm-hmm. And so you have to look for there's just some simple things you have to look at. One, you want to make sure that they provide professional monitoring. Okay. It's not very expensive. With the kind of money you're spending on automating your home, why would you not make sure that it's just that the automation, the police, the fire, and the medical are built into that automated system? A lot of people say, well, I don't need it. Well, no, but if you're going to pay for an automated device to automate your home, you might as well make sure that you have professionals watching over the home too. That's my personal opinion. I feel strongly about that. Two, you got to make sure that everything's warranted. Because this equipment is so new, you have to make sure it's all warranted, okay, for the life of you buy. If they're not willing to warranty it, part of the reason you pay for that monthly is not necessarily for the police, the fire, and medical. It's for the warranty. So if you get the police and fire and medical as a default to making sure all your equipment is warranted, and when I say warranted, this is what it should be warranted. It should be all of your technology, all of the actual software should be warranted. It should cover trip fees. Okay. You don't want to be in a situation where the company's charging you 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $120 to come out and diagnose a system that they installed into your home.
Right.
Okay. You want to make sure that it also warranties the time that the technicians spend in the home, that you shouldn't ever have to. I mean, we live in, this is 2018. You don't have someone come out to your home and expect to be able to charge them as a business what you want to charge them. They have to know that it's all covered into the monthly costs. That's what people want now. They just want to know that, okay, I pay this monthly. If anything goes wrong, if I need a technician to reinstall it or fix it or warranty it, it's all covered. It's called completely hassle-free, headache-free service. So regardless of what company you go with, make sure that that's what you get.
What about costs? I imagine there's a range depending on the services or the packages that you choose. But what can people kind of expect to pay?
Yeah, it's a great question. You have all these consumer advocates that are teaching consumers how to purchase, and everyone is saying, pay for the equipment up front, pay for the equipment, and get away from monthly monitoring fees. I'm not against that. In fact, ironically, Ackerman is one of the few companies that both offers people to pay for the equipment outright and not have long-term agreements, or they can pay a little bit monthly and maintain a monthly agreement. We don't really care what consumers decide. So I think the answer is, like right now, you have a vehicle. Are you leasing or do you own your vehicle?
I own it.
Okay. So I'm guessing you owning the vehicle at the time you purchased is what made the most sense for you. So take the same approach with automating your home and with security, fire, and smoke. Take that same approach. Say, okay, do I care to own this equipment? If ownership of the equipment is something you want, then understand anytime you choose to own something, you're going to pay more money now.
Okay.
If you choose to lease it, then what you're going to do is you're going to take the money you pay now, you're going to add probably 5 to 7% of paying over time, and that's going to be your increase. I've realized every homeowner is different. I get some homeowners that I'll come in and say, yeah, I can do a full camera system for you for $3,000, and they say, oh, I see the eyes glaze over. Well, $3,000 for a robust, 24/7 zoom in, zoom out camera system, that's very inexpensive. But if I say to them, yes, it will be $50, and that's spread over a 3-year commitment. Oh yeah, I can do that today.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's funny because if I add up the $50 over a 3-year commitment, they actually pay $600 or $700 more. But it's the money now that they choke on.
Okay.
So regardless, as a consumer, who do you want to do business with? You want to do business with a company that's willing to allow you to buy the way you want to buy, not the way they force you to buy.
Okay.
One company I can think of that's done really well in my space is called Simply Safe. Okay? Simply Safe. They don't have, and I am giving an advertising for Simply Safe. No, the reason they've done well is because they've allowed people that don't own the home and maybe don't have great credit to have a really simple security option without a long-term agreement. There are some people, the moment they hear the word no long-term agreement, that's my company.
Right.
That is the one. I'm not getting locked in, and I've been in that situation. My whole thing to that is, okay, that's fine. But are there companies that allow you to not have a long-term contract if that's what works for you, and then also allow you to amortize or break the costs over time if that's the way you want to do business.
Okay.
You want to have your cake and eat it too.
What about initiation fees, installation fees? Are these additional fees that people should expect when they...
It's a great question. What I like to ask people whenever there's a setup fee, and I always ask them, I'm very straightforward. Okay, I've been in sales a long time. I always ask them, is this, I'm not afraid to ask them, is this an additional commission that you make? Now, people think that's a pretty bold statement, but I just want to ask them. And I say, if it's an additional commission that you make, would you be willing to forego that additional commission so that I can do business with you today? And you would be shocked how many, because I'm a consumer. I consume a lot. I mean, I have T-Mobile. I have, a certain type of vehicle. I'm a consumer of all these different, I have DirecTV. I have Pandora. I'm a consumer. And so it's okay to ask. And if they're honest and they're upright and they do business the right way, they'll say, this activation fee is not additional commission. This is actually built in. The reason we have this activation fee is because there's a cell chip built into the panel, and we pay, we pay Verizon this money, so we pass through that cost to you, the consumer.
Okay.
It's okay to have those conversations. A lot of people are uncomfortable with those. Get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations, especially when it's regarding the money that you work so hard for.
Okay. And what about as far as choosing a system for your home? I imagine there are packages that include like everything, all the bells and whistles.
Mhm.
How do you know what's right for you?
That's a great question. So this is kind of a old school mentality. You really want to have, and this is the one thing in all of these segments we've done it. There's not one thing I've really said it's something I'm proud of with where I come from in my company. The one thing I do want to say that I am proud of where I come from with my company, ask for a consultant to come out to the home at no cost.
Okay.
Let somebody come out to your home. Ask if the company you're doing business would allow a non-high pressure consultant to come out to the home and consult with them. Even when I buy a vehicle, I don't want a pushy salesman, but I sure would like someone that I can just ask some questions to. I'm the kind of person that I don't buy anything without asking multiple people what the opinion is. So make sure you can get a consultant. And, the thing about security and automation, don't take a haircut over the phone. Don't do it. Tell them they need to come out to the home. Every single home I've been in is so unique and different. You want to make sure that someone comes out and walks the home with you. What kind of windows do you have? What kind of doors? Sliding, are they butterfly doors or butterfly windows? Are they this kind of lock or this kind of lock? Is there space for a doorbell camera? Is there space for outdoor cameras? Does the HOA allow indoor and outdoor? There's so many things. You want to make sure someone comes out, walks the premises, and breaks down an exact quote for what you need. Because you might find you can call any company, and I will tell you this, we get hated on for this. People call in, please give me a price. We can't give you a price. We can give you a range, but until we see your home and we can see every single piece of your home, we don't want to give you a price and then get out there and say, oh, well, it turns out you don't have this, this, and this. They call that a bait and switch.
Right.
So I'm really passionate about this, and I apologize for being so passionate. But I'm passionate about it because if people were to take just 45 minutes, do a walkthrough, let a professional come in and say, this is what I recommend. And although this is what I recommend, off of what I recommended, tell me, is there something you feel you could live without? Are you more cost conscious or quality conscious? Is it more about service or price? Once you start identifying some of these questions, we all drive different kinds of vehicles because we're all different types of people. There's people that drive Priuses. Probably people that drive Priuses probably would like to save money on gas. Probably people that drive big trucks with big wheels probably want to go through terrain that Priuses don't go through. I think it would be moronic and naive for a company to say to you, sure, I'll give you a quote, and that's the same quote I've given 1,000 other customers, and I expect that quote to fit your home like it fits 1,000 other customers' homes. That doesn't make sense to most people. Is do your homework, figure out. It's not about what company is best, and that's the reason I'm not scared to bring up names of other companies and recommend that maybe that might be the better fit for you. There's times when I go as a consultant through a home and I say, the way the home is set up and for what you need, you might really consider this company. And they're always shocked when I do that. They're blown away. Well, I called you guys. I know, but from what I'm seeing here, we can't adequately take care of your needs, and we're just not that type of company. But I would recommend this type of company. And people really appreciate that.
One size does not fit all.
That's exactly right.
Ryan, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks.